Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. It's mail. What is that from?
I don't know.
I've honestly never heard that.
What?
Sounds like the Jetsons.
It's not the Jetsons. It's 7 years later. Welcome to Idea Drop, the segment where we help you get to your next step in a profitable way, and all my ideas are better than Dustin's.
Yeah, it's kind of true. Except for not today. I've got you completely bam.
You're gonna go first today.
You want me to go first today?
Yeah.
Do you want a good idea or a really good idea?
A good idea.
Okay, good idea. Just
first,
average good idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do two quick businesses that I think you could start this weekend right now if you really wanted to. One is easier than the other. Easiest one, a moving business. Just advertise online, say, hey, we move things. Show up with you and your best friend, buy the same black colored shirt and khaki pants. You show up, you rent a truck.
I like that you're doing uniforms. So far, you're beating the local competition.
Exactly.
Keep going. Mm-hmm. You rent a U-Haul?
Rent a U-Haul.
Okay.
Rent a U-Haul. And then you just work your butt off, and then you charge them, I don't know, $1,000 a day, and you move them here to there.
Whew, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a fair price.
It would work.
I paid someone $300 to do this, and they showed up with 4 guys.
Whoa.
And there were a couple problems. They were all high schoolers.
Yeah.
They were strong high schoolers. They were super, I felt like I had to get my kids to leave the house before I was.
Oh, really?
It just felt weird.
Like, I don't really feel safe.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're going to my new house. So now these 4 high schoolers are going to know where my new house is.
$300
but
is
it was
a steal,
cheap.
though.
And you know how I found them was on the U-Haul partner. They had 4.5-star reviews, and they literally didn't have any way to talk to them first, but they got paid in an online form that I checked out when I was adding a U-Haul to my cart. Do you want 4 strong guys to show up and help you lift things?
It was a
nice
add-on.
experience. Yeah, from U-Haul.
That's a great add-on.
So I do think people can do this, and I do think if you were strapped for cash, like let's say all you need to make is $2,000 a month, and pay your rent and have a good life with your buddies.
Could do it.
That's a good business for somebody in that season of life. It does not scale.
No, it doesn't
so many
scale.
reasons,
It could scale, but it wouldn't be fun.
You don't need to scale.
Wouldn't
that.
be fun.
Nope.
It would not be fun. Okay, second business. If you can climb well.
I give that last one a 4 out of 10, by the way.
No, give it a 5. It's totally doable.
Who's the audience?
It's easy startup. Super easy.
For a 21-year-old strong guy?
Between 20 and 30. Yeah. It's a
It's
really,
3
really.
out of 10 for a 30-year-old.
Oh gosh. You just. It's not a bad business. It would be so easy to start that one.
It's
It's
hard
kind
to
of
get
like the
people to
building
pay
tables
a lot of
business.
money when they're moving.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest
Well, a
part.
lot of times when they're moving, people don't care what it costs because their company's paying for
Is
it.
this because you're moving right now?
I'm not moving. No, I need to move though. Actually, I'm trying to figure that part out. Okay, second business, easy business. Here we go.
I'm ready.
Tree falling business. You just climb up in a tree, and you rope in. You chop down the thing that needs to fall, and then you don't even do the cleanup. You just say, "Hey, awesome." There you go. Enjoy your tree, and they can find another company.
So you get to offer lower prices because you don't do the cleanup.
Don't do the cleanup. Yep.
Is that the unique offering?
Yeah.
Question though, what's the life insurance policy on that business?
Oh, you
it's bad.
started. Yeah, it's not good.
It's expensive.
Yeah, because will the homeowner technically buy
It's called
in?
an arborist, by the way.
Will the homeowner buy into risking getting sued of falling out of their own tree?
Okay, a couple morbid story. Well, one morbid story and then some bad news and some good news. Okay, in that order. Okay, so morbid story: the guy who fell my first tree at my first house died on a project 2 months later. After being in the business for like 40 years.
Oh, if you don't measure it right. I have a friend.
I don't know what happened. I didn't ask his wife for details, but I knew his wife.
Cut the wrong tree and you're in it still.
And yep, he died on the job. It is dangerous. Life insurance is real. However, they charge a lot of money. He was charging me cost, and I think I paid $800 his costs. So in general, arborists, which here's the good news. I did marketing in my marketing agency 4 years ago for a tree falling for an arborist in Nashville.
Wow.
And he made an average of $6,000 a gig.
Wow. See,
6.
that's really good money.
So they did the cleanup. It was full service, obviously. But we have 2 trees at my house. So did you see that a pine cone went through my window?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
That's sad.
So my car window lost its rear windshield to a digger pine, and that needs to come down because I don't want it to kill one of my children.
Yeah.
Those pine cones are insane. And it's maybe 80 or 90 feet high. It is a very large tree, and there are power lines on 2 sides. This is a very complicated job.
Yeah. No, you don't want to do that yourself.
So I'm fully like expecting somebody to quote me many thousands of dollars to do this safely. That's a bummer, but it's highly profitable if you're good at it, right? So the training curve on this business is a lot, but the lifestyle, I would imagine, is really good.
Probably a lot of fun in some scenarios.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. My brother is a firefighter and he follows these things, but he wouldn't do a 90-foot tree.
No.
It takes like 4 major trucks to come out and do that. And then have you seen the stump grinders?
Yeah, I've seen
those things.
Cool.
Are amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool, actually.
Yeah. If you've never seen a tree stump grinder, look it up on YouTube. Those things are, talk about torque. Anyways, okay, next.
Those are my 2
I give
quick
that
ones.
One.
We'll let Bland.
I give that one a 6.5.
6.5. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to get a 10 on this one. You
No, you can't get a 10. You can't get a 10.
Well, that's mean. I'll give you a 10 if you deserve it.
I can't get a 10.
Well, probably you couldn't. Okay. You want another one or you want to do one?
Okay, I'll do one. So there is a moment when your baby, I've had lots of babies and we currently have another one. There's a moment when your baby is aware enough that he or she wants to be moved a lot.
Oh.
And so this is why you see grandmas that are experienced like doing one of these things, going side to side, side to side. They're trying to get the baby to fall asleep. This is why we have automated bouncers. Have you seen these? Like there's, we have one, I can't remember what it's called, but it's technology and they've made it able to rotate and emulate like riding a wave or riding in a car. It has all these different 360-degree motions.
That's nice.
Up and down and in different directions.
I've seen this, yeah.
You buckle in the baby and you just like set it and forget it. And it has some gray noise that'll play or waves or whatever. So you can get the baby to just, calm down. So, you're playing one Graco duet. Yep. Similar to that. Yep.
I like that.
Mamaroo is what we have. The Mamaroo.
I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have one of those. Actually, if you're listening to this and you want a Mamaroo, we're done with it now. So just email me. If you know my email, you can have my Mamaroo. Don't tell my wife. So I think there's this problem that my Mamaroo cannot load up and go with me to grandma's house, and it can't load up and go camping, and it can't go to the hotel room.
Is it heavy?
It's big. I mean, we have so much gear for our baby. We have strollers, we have car seats, we have diaper bags. We're not going to take a rocking thing, but we also don't want to have to like hold the baby and rock it full time. You get sweaty, it's exhausting, and the baby wants this 1/3 of the day every day. So I think you can make a piston that literally retrofits to the car seat. So it has a way to grip the underside of the car seat.
Okay.
And like a stand that can just be on the ground. It's like maybe rubberized, so it has some friction and traction. And it's battery powered. You just plug it into the wall with a little USB-C cord or whatever.
Probably need more than that, but
What?
USB-C, I don't think it would power something that has to lift a small human,
No. You're in a car seat. And all you're doing is making the car seat go.
So the car seat's not in the car anymore, right? You take it in.
Yeah. Car seats are curved on the bottom.
Exactly. So
And
then you just
put it
it's
on the
literally
living room floor, and then you pull out your piston, this baby rocker piston out of your
I think it's a good idea.
diaper bag.
I think that would work actually.
It's easy.
How much would you charge for it? $100?
No less. I would say it's $49.99. I think you can make it for $22.
No.
Yeah, I think you can make it for between 15 and 25 depending on
How?
scale. In China. Like
Yeah.
you would have it designed. You'd first go to a design firm and you'd get drawings. It needs a small lithium-ion battery, but it's really basic mechanics. So they already have components for all these things. They're just assembling components in a nice
If
black.
you could do it for that price tag, I think it would be extremely
I
lucrative
think it would
because a
just
lot of
sell.
people.
I think everybody would get one at a baby shower.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great thing for
I need
baby
a
shower.
name though. I need
It's
a
really
better name.
expensive. All the other ones I just saw right there when he was pulling it up.
Yeah, they're all hundreds, right? But the issue is more transportation. So it's both, right? I can save you cost and like it's just the car seat. Car seats are already expensive and high quality. I don't need to make another high quality like whole seat. I just need to make this one move.
Yeah, I like that. I'm like in my mind, I'm trying to figure out how would I design this? How would you make this thing able to move?
Well, the hinge on the bottom has a it's not a ball bearing. I don't know what to call it, but basically a ball joint, a joint. And so that can go, is very flexible, but it's, think of like a square that can go flat on the ground. So as it's not just going to wiggle out of place, but rubberized bottom. There's a clamp on the top that clamps to the under rail of your car seat. So car seats are two under rails that sit into it's very doable. And then other than that, it's just up and down piston.
Yeah, okay. I'd buy that. I don't have
Babies
a baby.
are one of those things you spend a lot of money on or people buy you for. So if you don't have the money.
I think you're really gonna sell it on the name.
Yeah. Give me a
I've
name.
been
Baby
trying
rocker,
to think.
rockin' baby, rock
But it
top,
has to be like something piston, right? Piston language.
pissed rocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, pissed rocker.
It's a bad name. Bad name.
Yeah.
Piss rocker? It's literally like a car seat rocker. That's what it is.
Just call it that.
So
Just
you
call
don't always have to be sexy with the name. Sometimes you can be extremely
Car seat
precise,
rocker.
and people find it extra easy on Google or Amazon.
Yeah.
So it's a car seat rocker. And then if we get a really creative inspiration, we can make a whole Instagram account if we get real cute with it.
Yeah. No, I'm in for that. I like
Yep.
that. That's a good idea.
But when we get the name, we can charge $30 more per unit. That's where you're going with that. And that's really good for the net margins.
Yeah. Okay.
You got another one?
Of course I've got another one.
Okay. I want to do a okay, never mind. We talked about that one. Okay, so I run a services business or some services businesses plural, and we have this problem of like when we have a new contractor and we're going to ask the contractor to do work for a client. It is a lot of internal resources to vet this person. So what we actually want to do is find a more qualified person that we can build a singular trust with over time and then pay them every time to interview for us, right? I don't want a recruiter, which is kind of like the skill set of a salesperson, to do my vetting for me. They can do initial vetting, but my deep dive, whether it's a software developer or a marketing SEO specialist or whatever it is, I need a go-to person who will just let me book into their calendar an interview. They can run it with Calendly. I would pay $300 an hour for this, depending on the skill set. I would.
$300 an hour for that?
Yeah, because, my team, let's say I pay somebody on my team $70 an hour, but I bill for them $150 an hour. When they show up to an interview and I lose that hour, I lose a billable hour and I pay them. So I've just paid $220 and I've had to have the added complexity of having a system internally to do this. So what I really need is a $250 consultant that's highly qualified for doing our interviews for XYZ niche. And that person makes a great income when they work, but it's very easy.
That'd be tough because it'd have to be an expert in the field. It'd have to be.
Yeah.
Are you a programmer that doesn't want to program anymore? Okay.
But if you're that good, you just sell yourself instead of at your programmer rate, which maybe is $125 an hour. That's a big, like a higher end one, or 150 would be. But you could double that. And some people just want to talk. Some people don't want to code. Some people actually get really bored. So you could charge me double that and just do the interview and send me your notes so we can go yay or nay. We need to build some trust with you first. But I need a yay or nay person on these technical
It
roles.
feels extremely similar to a recruiter.
Do you think it
Except
could be?
for recruiters are building research lists and doing a hustle that this person does not want to do. So they would partner maybe with a recruiter is the way they would fill up their book of business. What do you say?
I think. Do you think this could be an upcharge for like Upwork?
Well, I think if you were
applicants?
doing this, you could sell it through Upwork, sure. But I think all you have, if this is you, all you have is your own time, and you can only sell maybe 35 hours a week of your time, maybe 30. So if you sold 30 hours at $250, dollars an hour, 250 times 30 times there are 4.33 weeks in a month, you could clear $32,500 a week and have the 5 hours extra for yourself.
That's a good week.
So yeah, you can make a very high income, right? That's almost
I would do it on Upwork.
$350K a year.
I don't know how I'm trying to figure out like how would you advertise yourself? Hi, I will vet your project managers. I will vet your,
No, I probably wouldn't do this through Upwork. I would partner with some recruiters and I would do the relational thing and be like, hey, you're recruiting. When you successfully recruit somebody, you make 25 grand. Like recruiters make 25 grand, or at least a company does when they make a placement. You're just providing this one very difficult to do secret sauce expertise step. Anyways, I would pay this as a customer, so I'm sure somebody could provide it and find 10 clients like me, fill up their schedule, and have a great quality of life.
It's funny because I've only done small scale projects, so I've never been in this position. I'm the guy who's like, should I use this vendor? Should I do this? It's a totally new problem for me.
Yeah, it's not accessible to most people, but I do think if you are a developer, if you are a UI designer, if you are an SEO expert, one of these things that are very hard for recruiters to track with the complexity and nuance. I mean, mechanical engineers, architects, both digital and physical architects, anything that has that much nuance. Lawyers, although they could just do their craft and make more than that. So maybe that's a bad example. CPAs.
Yeah.
So something where the recruiter knows 70% of the information, but it's really that last 30% of details that make or break someone getting hired.
Yeah.
HR teams would hire a person like this to save them internal resources.
They would.
Yeah.
It'd have to be an extremely well-versed expert, though.
You just have to be an expert in something. And then you go partner with HR teams. So if you're that, make 20 calls, send 20 emails to HR teams. And if you get 2 of them to be your customer, you've found a pattern. Now go do it 10 more times until you have 20 customers. And by the end of the year, you can have a very high income and a better quality of life.
Okay. I don't know how I would do this business. This would be really hard for me. I can't speak into it.
I don't have expertise like this.
Yeah.
Any of those niches. Yeah.
Okay. I've got one for you. I like this one, and I hope you like this one too. Let me give you a backstory. So we have a cat, and our cat is having some rough times right now, and so we're at the vet. We're doing all the tests, the whole bit. It's not fun, right? What's expensive is medicine. Medicine's really expensive. You know what's not expensive? Medicine for fish. You know what medicine is the exact same? It's the exact same medicine. It's just not as regulated.
Wait, you found this in your research?
Yeah.
I love this. I love everything about that. Okay.
Yeah. So I want to start a store and just call it For Fish or whatever you want to call it. And
fish.
It's just medical grade anything that is
but
for
your
fish.
Pictures could be horses and dogs and cats and sheep.
Yeah.
Your pictures could literally imply.
Oh yeah, it would be
for
as
fish.
Obvious as it can be. It's like.
But you can't be sued into the ground because everything's for fish.
It's for fish. It's just for fish. What are you talking about, sir? It could even be medicine that humans could use if you needed to.
I walk in like, hi, I have a horse that's dying of this, and I don't have enough money to pay the vet.
Oh well,
and
this is for fish.
Well, one guy used this, but it's for fish. Double eyebrow raise.
Exactly that. You could even.
I love this plan.
Do you like it?
I do.
I think it's a good idea.
I do think it might need to be in Mexico. It's making me a little nervous.
No, I think you could do it. I think you could do it in America.
Just say it needs to be Mexico.
No.
Also in Montreal.
You could do it. No, you could do it as a website. Like you know how what's his name? He just started a new medical website.
Yeah.
What was it? It's Cuban, Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban Pharmacy.
Yeah, I love that. Such a great idea.
Yeah.
Now, here's the problem. I've been doing a lot of homework on FDA regulation lately, right?
Right.
And there are so many things that even you and I could benefit from, but it is stuck in the FDA.
Yep.
But if it's for fish, they don't care. And in some cases, this mysterious, risky new medication is your best shot.
So
you
for
need to
people
get
who
it.
don't know, the FDA holds things up for 7 years minimum.
It's so
if you're
much.
very efficient and you know your way through the process expertly, it's 7 years to get it to market after you think it works.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have a 7-year process minimum, and there are multiple phases, and it's many millions of dollars, which is why only big corporate companies can do it. So
It's
what
so
happens is those
expensive.
big corporate companies go borrow money from the banks, and then they buy out the startups that can't afford to go take it through FDA process, but they buy it for pennies because how are they going to get the money to take it through FDA process? But it might work. It might bona fide work.
Dude.
And so they'll buy it. They don't even have to invent it. They just buy the invention.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. For fish, man.
Our world is weird.
It's totally weird. I think it's awful in some ways. I want to be able to look at a product and say, I know that the FDA has not yet finished this, but I need to buy it today. And I want to be able to do that. So I'm starting my For Fish business, and it's just medication for fish and anybody else.
For fish. I like that. I like that. We could make forfish.com.
For fish.
You should check. Hey, Jamie, can you check if forfish.com is taken?
Forfish.com.
Yeah.
It's probably a dating website. It's
Oh,
a Christian
yikes.
dating website.
I'm so nervous now. Okay.
That's so funny. Okay, hit me.
I want a recruiting firm that recruits recruiters. I have a really hard time finding the right recruiter.
This is
for
real.
me.
This is actually great. I already love this.
This
Yeah.
is so like well, let's do a little sponsor shout out here. Unofficial sponsor, Laszlo Bach, one of the best books I read 2 years ago. I almost said last year, and I would have been lying. Work Rules is the statistics and workflows and insights that Google found out going from 10,000 employees to 250,000 employees, and what they had to do to keep quality of talent high, and how like incentives work, how we do bonuses. They actually learned things like people tell you to your face they want cash bonuses.
They don't.
But when you measure employee happiness through non-obvious ways of surveys and you aggregate the data, they actually far prefer vacation bonuses or physical present gifts, basically. Gifts and vacations, so like time. And their dopamine, if you measure the actual brain science of it, it's those things that people actually are incentivized by. So it's way cheaper to give for Google. Okay, imagine you're a great Google engineer and you just like made Google 3 billion more a year. Okay, you made Google 3 billion more a year. I pay you $300,000, but you came up with this idea. Now it makes us 3 billion a year. If we give you 0.1% of 3 billion,
You're doing
I think
great.
we're giving you, you'd have to sanity check this, but I think we're giving you 3 million in a bonus. 0.1% of 3 billion, I think would be 3 million. Are you doing it?
Yeah, it's really big. No, this actually doesn't go big enough for me to do it.
Well, I haven't.
Maybe if I
actually
flip it
calculated.
sideways.
Can this do billions?
Oh, okay. So
I can.
times
Times
0.001.
Oh,
Right?
shoot. Yeah.
Okay. Then you make $3 million.
Okay. Nailed it. I could give you $3 million and you could actually feel bitterness. Because
Yeah, I think
you
I
made
would.
us $3 billion
I would.
and we just gave you $3 million.
And $3 million isn't
But we
as
could
much
send you on vacation for the next 6 months, all expenses paid. And that vacation would only cost us $200,000 and your whole family can come and you don't have to work. And we're just saying, good on you, Dustin. You did it. You made the company $3 billion. Go to Disney World.
Would that be
6
Would
months.
that be better? I don't know if that would be better. I think I would prefer the 3 million. I don't know if
That's
my
what
heart
people-
would.
that's
prefer
what
the
people
3 million.
say.
Yeah, absolutely.
But their data shows it's not true. Anyways, really insightful book.
Okay.
You can get it on Audible. You can buy it on Amazon. It's called Work Rules. I think less people are buying it because it wasn't well marketed. Speaking of that podcast marketing that sucks, titling your book Work Rules his marketing that sucks.
That is terrible.
He's trying to be ironic because he's a smart genius, with lots of insights, and he works at Google. So he thought his title would sell it for him, which I think is only 1/4 true. If you want the other 75% of your sales, you got to name it better.
Yeah, no, that's
What,
absolutely
JD?
true.
He's
It's kind
looking
of a
at us.
thick book too. It's not the easiest read.
Yeah. It's not, but it's
It's a real page turner.
Forfish is available.com.
Oh, really?
But
Forfish.com?
how much is it?
How much?
2 eyes. $112 a year.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
get it.
One
I'm
eye
gonna
is,
buy it.
one eye is,
One eye is unavailable.
okay, but
For fish.
because the second eye is ish. Oh, so the logo is 4-5 ish.
It's kind of good.
Okay, that's good.
I kind of, yeah. All right, let's buy
can
it.
you
I'm going to
buy
make
that?
this. And then I'm just going to source all the medication I can.
Just invoice Dustin.
That's great. That's
job.
so funny.
Congratulations.
I want to do that. I'm going to do that. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm exactly going to do that.
Forfeit-ish.
I'm going to explore this
.com.
for fish thing. I really like this idea. Okay. For all the popular, yes.
hold on.
Oh, yes, man.
Recruiters that recruit recruiters.
Oh, yeah.
I want to pay a recruiting firm that specializes in all the weird random skill sets of recruiting. Did you know that something like 1/3 of Google employees I don't want to misquote that. Okay, they have a very, very large recruiting team. I was going to claim that there were 1/3 of them.
They're
I think it's
incredible
1/3 of their
recruiters,
HR
right?
department.
They
That's
have
what
the
it is.
best recruiting in the world, right?
They are 25 times more selective than Stanford and Harvard.
Wow, that's pretty insane, actually.
Applicants to acceptance,
My gosh.
25 times more selective.
What's their process?
So we don't have to go through that, but I was going to say 1/3 of all HR employees is actually the data I'm remembering is a recruiter for Google because there's that much work in the recruiting. It is so much work.
Because they're trying to fiin winners, like legitimately,
and
like
the
this person
consequences
is
of a mediocre hire are
it's an
worse
entrepreneur,
than a bad
right?
hire.
Is that what you would call it, entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur,
Yeah.
yep. And the consequences of a mediocre hire are far worse than a bad hire. Bad hires get found out and pushed out. Mediocre hires hide and take resources from the company for years. So, I learned a lot when I went through that and I applied it to our business. But I need another recruiter for our company, and we just came to the conclusion it costs us internally, not externally, about $30,000 of labor, internal labor, to hire every software developer that we have because of just because of our requirements. So I am happy to pay a recruiter to find me the right recruiter that I can make an offer to lower my cost from $30,000 internally right now per employee.
Yeah.
So if we pay somebody $100,000 a year, I'm paying 30 in initial process.
Yeah.
Just internally. Yep.
I think you should do it. A recruiter for recruiters. That would be a good business. I would.
And market's easy too.
Your business would hire this. Your business would do this.
Yeah, and I think
was there.
I think it market's easy. So if you are a recruiter and you want to venture out, I think that tagline would even be really easy.
We hire recruiters.
You're just recruiters, a recruiting agency that hires recruiters. Recruiters for recruiters.
Kind of cool. It's a little meta, but I think it works.
It's meta, and people go, yeah, I do need to upgrade my recruiters, right? Well, who would I go to other than pro recruiters?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think it works. I almost did a recruiting job twice.
Ooh.
Yeah, two separate times, and I really wanted to do it actually. Both times it just didn't really work out.
I'm glad you didn't.
You're glad
because I lost $250,000 when I did it.
Oh no way!
And
yeah,
we lost a house.
You lost everything.
My roommate died that year.
But that wasn't a you
died.
thing. That wasn't a you thing. That was what was it? Legislation changed and it made
Trump
the industry that you were
got
going
really
into
vocal about solar tariffs against China, and I was recruiting they're called developers, but they're large scale solar farm developers. They're the people who just go kind of like a land developer who makes a huge neighborhood. You call those people are developers. This is the guy who does that for $300 million solar farms.
Oh, wow.
So those were my candidates. I was hired as an executive recruiter to find those VPs of solar development for the third largest energy company, private energy company in the world. There are larger public ones, but it's a pretty solid contract, but it was commission only. And I had $250,000 personal income, not company revenue, that was owed to me. I worked 11 months for that, and we saw none of it because those tariffs came out right at the end, right before they were hiring this slew of developers that I had brought them to. They had done 45 interviews with their C-level. I mean, this is it's an $80 billion a year company.
Whoa.
And I had the chief business development officer as my main point of contact. It's a big job, and they don't waste their time. So there was no like, oh, I'm counting chickens that weren't going to hatch. No, this was hatching.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump opens his mouth, and
that's what it is.
And China got a tax on their solar panel exports, and so the banks stopped lending, and so the corporations are like, well, the banks aren't lending, so
this is like
we
when
can't fund
Elon
your
Musk.
department.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so sad. It's like when Elon Musk makes any kind of a tweet about any currency, boom, explodes.
It
exactly
is
that.
PR. I learned a lot about PR.
Yeah,
so we
it's
lost
real.
a house.
I saw that house.
Yeah.
I've been to that house.
It's a good house. Good
It's
house.
a great house, great area.
Yep.
Bad neighbors. Good house, though. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, this is what we do typically before we get into a podcast is we hang out downstairs, we grab lunch, we get an orange juice, and
That's
then
not an orange juice.
you're right. It's not. It's
Is that
very
a
orangey if you want to try
grapefruit
it.
What
It's-
is that?
I don't know. I don't like it, to be honest. Try it.
I'm not drinking that. Coronavirus is going around the world.
It kind of is, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so we're down there though, and our producer says, "Hey, I got to buy a new laptop, right?"
Yep.
And I'm thinking, shoot, that sucks because he does a lot of video work. Video laptops are so expensive.
Yep.
I have a friend who just bought a supercomputer desktop. He spent $8,000.
$8,000 on a desktop?
Yeah.
So
and
it
it's-
wouldn't have been a Mac, right?
No, yeah, PC, custom built PC.
$8,000 on a custom PC.
Mhm.
I didn't
Yeah, it
even
has
know.
128 gigabytes of RAM. Think about that. That's
Okay.
insanity.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it probably has like 4 GPUs.
Oh, I don't even know what it has. It's got it all.
Anyways.
It's got an external RAID, the whole bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's doing it
Do
right.
you know what a RAID controller is?
Yeah, it's
You're just quoting an acronym.
no external RAID, isn't it? So it's hard drives that run in concert.
Wow.
And then I'm more
You are
nerdy
more
than you know.
technical than I thought. Yep.
Mhm, absolutely. Anyway, so here's the big problem. But you know what they do have in video games? In video games, they have like you just look at your screen and then you're playing a different system that's offsite somewhere. So I'm thinking like, well, this has to exist, right? This totally exists for computers, supercomputers somewhere, because nobody wants to spend $4,000 on a computer, but I can maybe spend $1,000 on a computer and then a $100 a month membership that I can use an offsite computer, right? So I'm just looking it up for our good producer
Bandwidth
friend
is your problem
JD.
there.
And then you chime in and you said, "No, I ran this company. You did this."
No, I didn't run this company. It was my first sales job. Was at a company that was VC backed for.
And it failed.
Virtual.
Right? It failed.
Yeah, so it was a different use case. What you're talking about is a very high end use case. So what
okay.
we were doing, so like, remember in school when you had to go to like computer lab
Yeah.
and you walk in, it's like a classroom, but inside all the decoration is desks and computers and chairs, right? 30, 40 in a rows of computers. So that's a lot of computers for a school district to buy. So what our company did, throwback to my friends at N Computing that went bankrupt, and
This is a big Reading company. I remember.
it wasn't a Reading company. It was a
They
San.
just had a
It was
branch there, I guess.
Yeah, right. They tried to like lower their costs on sales reps because in San Francisco they're all 6-figure jobs. So I started making $10 an hour at that job,
Oh my god.
which was a pay cut from
Yeah.
the job where I was a residential counselor for juvenile sex offenders. We probably can't talk about any of that on this podcast.
I don't even want
Anyways,
to talk about that.
so that's when I met my wife, I was doing that job, and
Oh
then
my
I
gosh, this
transitioned
is
to
just terrible.
cold cause. Wow, we're going
Yeah,
down.
well, what happened? What happened with this company though?
Okay, so what the device is a little device we sold for $179, and you put it on the back of a monitor. You know those little screws? They're called Visa mounts, like where a monitor would like screw into like a wall mount.
Yeah.
The little screw holes in the back of a monitor. We had a device that would just sit there, and you plug your HDMI cord and your power cord, into that as well. And that would also have Cat5 run to it. So it's networked. You would have a expensive computer somewhere on the network that would run all 30 in the lab.
Yep.
So that's how they saved cost. So it was a way
this is totally
to
different. Yeah.
save costs by logging in to a powerful computer that's on the network somewhere.
This would work great for like kids, I think, because they're not doing anything that's that intensive.
It's not super intensive. Yeah. Now we did do basic like Adobe. You could do lots of resource intensive things, but if you all did them at once, you're tying up one computer's,
Yeah.
right? But the concept of one to many. So you can still do this. In fact, Windows has it built in. It's called RDP. We can't go too deep on this because I could keep talking about it.
Sure. I just want to know why the company failed, because that seems like a great product to me.
The company made tens and tens of millions of dollars a year. Probably 30, 40 million of dollars a year when I was there. They sold the products. Remember I told you it was $179 per unit?
Yeah.
Well, we only got $159, and then our resellers made $20.
Sure.
That seemed reasonable.
Yep.
Because maybe we made them for $30. Well, then we got in bed with a reseller who, while we were having some tight quarters, tight like fiscal quarters, at the end of the quarter, the executives in our company would get stressed. We're not hitting our number. We need to show the investors a return. So what they did many quarters in a row was they went to this really close relational reseller and say, hey, what pricing would we need to give you for you to like spend $2 million this quarter? And those people had us over a barrel eventually. So after doing that, we got sicker and sicker and sicker. So at one time we were giving them $149 a unit. Then we were giving them $139 a unit. Then we're giving them $115 a unit. I ended up getting into a good job in that company, and I had access in Salesforce, our CRM, to the pricing that we sold them wholesale. It was like $80 a unit by the end.
Oh my gosh.
And so if we made them for $30 and then you pay for shipping and then you pay for
your volume would have to be astronomical for that to make sense.
Volume was not there because remember we were doing this to solve a volume problem. We didn't do enough volume, so we need to drive up the theory of revenue.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
you should have just charged more to schools.
Guess what?
What?
That company went on to do $100 million a year and then sold the reseller.
No,
not us. And we fired the employee who, for performance, actually, he wasn't a good enough sales rep. We fired the guy who started that company. And he worked with some investors and built $100 million a year business. And then they had an exit. And one of my friends ran that to the end. He lives in Reading, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's fine.
We'll have him on the podcast soon, Charlie.
Yeah, we should.
So anyways.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's sad. I'm saddened by that. That's a great idea, great product. That's a terrible ending to an interesting story. But it just goes to show, my producer should look into the thing that I'm talking about.
Like
that
shared
might be great.
Resources.
Yeah,
on
shared resources that you can send out there. There has to be something like
it
this.
exists. But
How much does
Amazon's
it
already
cost?
doing this. Like AWS is doing this, but it's just complex. It's not consumer friendly yet, but it will be soon. So our developers do this all the time. We pay for access to very powerful machines.
Yeah.
Hosted in probably San Francisco.
How much would that cost? Like that should
we pay monthly?
It should be a monthly charge, or it could be an
Hundreds
hourly
or thousands,
charge.
depending on how much we utilize. It scales with utilization. So one time we developed a bug. Well, I said that the wrong way. We didn't catch a bug. And the customer that we had this $1 billion logistics company customer. And this bug was running a loop, but they were paying for the Amazon infrastructure for this loop that was running infinitely. And so it wasn't even live to their customers. And they got a $25,000 server bill that month. And they're like, what is this?
No.
And I'm like, hey, hold on. You pay us hourly and that's just a bug. Why are you paying for Amazon infrastructure now? Like it's not even published. They were trying to I guess, I don't know what they're doing. They were trying to rush it and they were paying Amazon for usage of something that wasn't live. So, yeah,
That's sad.
$25,000 bug.
That's really sad. Well, okay. That is interesting and sad. I have a question. Do we have any mailbag today?
We do.
We do? Hit me.
Mailbag. Here's some mail. It makes me never want to fail. It's mail. Somebody tell me what that reference is.
I have no idea what
You
that
guys
is.
don't know.
No, I have no idea.
Gosh. It's not Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Can you
but
sing
there's
it
a dog
again?
in it.
Can you sing again?
Sing it again.
Here's the mail. It makes me want to fail. Wait. Here's the mail. It never
don't know.
fails.
Yeah,
it
it never
makes
fails.
me want to wag my tail. It's mail. That's what it is.
It's Blue's Clues.
Blues Clues. We are looking for
Oh.
Blues Clues.
I just
That
don't
Just for
guy-
clarity,
that
I
guy-
didn't even look it up. I knew.
Finally, we tapped into the
Sounds
memory.
like your dad.
So Blues Clues, I feel like that guy
Is this
got
still around?
heavily involved in drugs and then went off the deep end. Look up,
No,
Google
actually,
Blues Clues drugs.
Nope.
It's the lie. That's
He
the
had a
big
mental
lie.
breakdown.
it was a mental
Oh.
breakdown.
He had a mental breakdown and just realized that he can't do this anymore. And that was going to be his whole career. And then he walked away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang,
Wow.
that's sad.
You know what?
Yeah.
Mailbag time.
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
so for next week's episode, if you want to submit a business idea, there are two categories that we're interested in. One is a business that you would do if you had more time and you want feedback on it. Two is a business that you want us to kind of bumble through how we might pull it off. So I have two this week. I have one that's how would we pull this off and one for feedback. So Jordan submitted this one, window washing, and he wants feedback on it.
Oh.
And he kind of walks it through how he would pull this off. So Jordan emails us and says, $5 per small window, $10 per large window. He's like, I bet you can easily make $100 an hour if you wanted to hustle. So this is like maybe in competition with your moving idea, if that's the season of life you are. Maybe easier from a work requirement standpoint, and getting customers. He said, I would register it as a public benefit corporation that gives up 1% back to the community. So basically you get a nonprofit break. You don't have to pay taxes on this company. And create a royalty program where people get to give each other free window washing after they use your service. So basically, if somebody refers you another customer, then they get some referral
that's kinda cool.
kickbacks, right?
I like that.
And he said, what I would do to make it grow is go to social media and produce content where you film old people getting their windows washed for free.
You just watch them, you just get emotional about it, and be sad. Yeah, that's great.
Yep. And then you plug your company. For a small business, I do think so. I think it'd be incredibly hard to go multi-city.
No,
But you could get pretty big in a...
You'd have to get a company. You'd have to just get companies. You'd have to focus on companies. If you did houses, your life would be insane, and you would hate yourself, I think.
I don't think so, because neighborhoods where there are high incomes in certain geographies, like you can actually look up, if you Google like high net worth zip codes in Sacramento, let's say.
Yeah.
You just get right here. Here's a map, high net worth, and it has some data. So people are already tracking these things. So those are the places where once you get in, the neighbors just tell each other, oh yeah, my window washing guy's this. It's and you can just, if you're charging a per window price. Yeah.
This might be a really fun business, actually. You're constantly moving. You're not doing
it's good
the
business.
worst kind of moving. You probably have to get into a lot of bushes every now and again, and that's not the most fun. But yeah, every church would hire you.
So if you wanted to have an exit on this business,
Ooh.
you can't be the one doing the window washing. So you would have to be training high school, college students who are wearing uniforms. They have to look and appear safe.
Yeah.
And you'd have to get your systems down, right? Some text flows, some automations, some customer service automations. And you could grow it regionally to a certain size. And then you could either franchise it to other cities, do the same thing. You need to have your recruiting method for your window washers locked down, your client acquisition method locked down, and your automations locked down. Once those things are solid, you can either franchise or you could expand to other cities, and eventually have an exit.
You know what I think would be a better business than this business, but it'd be the same type of thing as a carpet cleaning business. Same exact style of thing. I think you'd have a higher clientele because nobody really knows how to deep clean their carpet,
Right.
but everybody knows how to clean a window.
True, but it's a lot of work, and carpet cleaning is a lot of gear.
A lot of gear. That's
Window
why you
cleaning
hire.
is not a lot of gear.
So let's think about last week's idea for you have a handyman. You pay monthly.
True.
What about a monthly subscription for
Yeah,
either window
For window
washing,
washing?
or
Yeah,
carpet
that-
cleaning?
I mean, I think the carpet cleaning doesn't need to be a monthly subscription, but window washing does, right? And you
It
also
depends on
could
how many
do
kids you have.
exterior only. Exterior window washing only would be way more streamlined for the business.
Yeah, nobody
And
has to be
the
home.
cleaner of your customer can do the insides, right? Right. This is a high income neighborhood, so they have house cleaners.
Yeah, I like it. I don't think I would want to start this business, but I think it would. I think
wouldn't
it
do
could
this
work.
business, but it could absolutely work. Yep. Okay.
good. All right,
So
well,
here's the other mailbag.
I'm impressed with how far this person thought it through. That's great. Good work.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. So Cameron emails in and he says, I think that your guys' commentary on coffee shops was wrong.
Tell me I'm wrong, please. I want to
Yeah,
be wrong
because
here.
we kind of shit on coffee shops.
I constantly do, and I go to them
and
every
he
day.
said the problem is just the normal coffee shop is a terrible business.
Sure.
But what if it was a food truck coffee shop in a city over 1 million people
Okay.
that also had one carb, so one nice glazed donut, and a very simple coffee offering? You're talking about one piece of gear, some milk fridges, some syrups, one employee.
No, that's when it works. Remember how the stipulation that we had was one of the biggest problems I see in coffee shops is just the real estate of it all.
Yep.
Somebody gets in there, they put up a laptop. Like when I go to a coffee shop, I'm paying $6 for rent for 2
Yep.
hours, you know?
Yep.
And I'm okay with that. But 2 hours it's not good. It's not good for the business. You want them in and out. That's why Dutch Bros is such a good model. This kind of leans.
Actually, our editing intern wanted to get out of coffee shops because there's a ceiling on it because
There's a
they can't
ceiling?
pay him more.
Can they?
You know what
what's
can? Editing.
There's no room for growth and there's no profit in coffee. Unless you do food and something special like a good glazed donut,
Yep.
something that keeps people coming back
Dude,
for more than just the
organic coffee, organic glazed donuts, because organic is the buzzword right now. So you can charge us a flat rate. It's so convenient. And you can go, his point, so in his email, he's like, you can go to the places that it's cost prohibitive to buy the real estate to provide convenient coffee shops. So in major cities, like you can't get like a piece of real estate nearby within walking distance to these higher end places. But there are a lot of workers with plenty of money to buy coffee in those regions. So a food truck that can just park
I
temporarily.
think food trucks are great businesses. Yeah, I'm all on board with that one. Plus, it'd be super fun, and you can always change. You can say, "This isn't a good area. I should try it this place. I should try it this place."
Walk through the numbers. Do you know how much a food truck costs?
200 grand.
They're
can-
cheaper. They're cheaper.
You can. I know a new nice one would be maybe that, but if you wanted to like get one and renovate something or whatever, you could probably do it for 20, right? So
I mean,
somewhere between the two.
I would say 120 after the build out is after like a very nice commercial kitchen build out inside, and you've wrapped the outside is about where they are, and you can get loans on these things. You're gonna have to come with a down payment. You might have to come with $30K down payment and then get a bad loan, like a 7 or 9% interest loan, probably 9% interest loan.
Dang.
So you're getting a commercial equipment loan. You're going to have to personally guarantee it, but that loan will be spread out over 10 years or whatever. So if you carry $80K over 10 years, you might have a $900 a month payment or something, which when you're selling $4 coffees or $5 coffees and $3 donuts, you'll, with one employee, if it's you especially, it's harder to scale, but if it's you, man, you can. I play cornhole. Shout out to cornhole professionals. There's a league in town. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Oh my gosh.
So I played cornhole with this guy who did a food truck because he could make $1 million a year on a single food truck in revenue.
No way.
So, and he can clear about 400 grand after.
He does this. He does this here in Redding.
Not coffee and donut, but
In Redding, though.
well, he goes Redding, Chico, Arcata, Sacramento. He has a tour.
Yeah.
And like, it's one thing to make a high income. It's another thing to have a good lifestyle.
Yeah.
He does not have a good lifestyle.
Oh, okay.
Right? He's working 90 hours a week to do that.
Yeah.
And he's never sleeping in his own bed.
Yeah, that's sad.
So-
That's sad.
So yeah.
Food truck business, I think, is fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Coffee is interesting, and it's definitely like hipster and trendy. So, and you're gonna always have it.
This is not hipster and trendy like the food truck style. That would be hard for hipsters, right?
No. Have you been to Portland?
Yeah.
Tons of food truck coffees.
Really?
Yeah, and
I
they're
haven't been there
really great.
in 10 years.
Oh wow, it's beautiful. Like really good for food trucks. And you can do some super, absolutely. I went into one. It was a double decker.
Colder climate, so you can get
Yeah,
hot coffees
exactly.
all day long.
It was great. It was
Interesting.
great. I went into one. This was super cool. Yeah, they renovated a double decker bus, and so you walk in, and it's like this whole. They even have a little lobby, and you can like sit
I
in
like
a couple
that.
of spots. It was just
I
so
like that.
so creative. Really great. Yeah,
So
that'd
you
be
can
fun
go
business.
sit upstairs on the double decker bus.
Yeah,
I like that. I want to go.
yeah, it's nice.
Okay. Well, I think it's game time.
let's play a game.
Do you want to do a game?
Yeah, I'd love to do a game.
Okay.
Let's see what game. What game would you like to play?
Well, I want to give you some constraints here,
Mm.
and I want to make the theme. Disneyland.
Okay.
Have you been to Disneyland
Oh,
or
yeah.
Disney World?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just outside of Disneyland and Disney World is a lot of like pop-up infrastructure because there's so much money actually in the park.
Yeah.
Then everybody near the park kind of gets to design a business that can be highly profitable because people go and they just blow money.
Yeah.
So if you inherited, the game is, I've inherited some real estate. What am I going to do with it? And it is 1 block away
Disneyland.
from Disneyland, Anaheim, California. 1 block, walking distance to downtown Disney.
Yeah.
So it's next to downtown Disney, but not in downtown Disney. What business? Because it's a blank slate.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have some renovation costs, and it needs to be good enough to attract investor capital.
Okay, this
Right?
is really
you don't
easy
have your
for
own
me.
capital. You just need to nail your
Yeah.
concept and then go, I inherited the real estate. I've got it on lockdown. So it's easier to raise money.
Okay, this seems like a really easy answer for me. I would open a bar. For sure, I'd open a bar.
Okay.
Bars are really hard to find in Disneyland. They're just not there.
True.
And I know a lot of kids go to Disneyland, but their parents are really, at some
Tired.
point, they just want a drink.
Well, they're on
they want a
vacation.
beer. Yeah, they're on vacation. They want a beer. I'd open a bar, and you'd have to have like maybe a separate adjacent place that kids can hang out, you know?
Ooh.
So a bar with a
How
little,
would you make that kosher, safe, fun?
I don't know. I think it'd be
Push
the
yourself.
same
Come
building,
on,
advertised as
creativity.
2 different buildings. One side is a bar, and then it's like completely wide open glass walls, and it's a kid's play
Glass
play
walls.
space.
Okay, yeah, because in California there's that regulation. You can't actually walk into the bar if you're under 21, but glass walls,
walls.
and all the fun stuff on that side.
Yeah, totally
And-
different color scheme. You know,
Okay, what if they're on the other side of the glass wall? So you know those, you go to the movie theater, there's a glass booth and there's a button somebody can press and talk through it. What if your kids can run up to where you're sitting against the glass wall?
Oh, that's great. It's
and
like a prison.
Hey
That's
mom, can I go play can I have $5 for
you're just prepping them for jail. It's
no,
perfect.
for the movie theater. We're just using that technology in
is
a
so
weird
hilarious.
way.
I don't know. This
I
is
can
in a
have a
movie
little
theater.
date
What do you
night.
mean by this? I haven't seen this in a movie theater.
When you walk up to a movie theater ticket booth,
the ticketing
they
booth.
press, hi, what do you want to see?
I see. Yeah. I think that's great. Mm-hmm. Totally. Switch it on, and then they can press that
So
thing and
every
talk.
table has another one of those, and the kids just like, they'll like it. They'll like, hey mom,
Yeah.
and you just,
Yeah, I think that's
and
great.
if your kids are doing something naughty, you can walk over there, but they can't walk in here. And there needs to be a bouncer, but it's so nice.
Yeah.
Like a bouncer's like, hey kids, you can't come over there
Gotta
because
stay over
mommy
there.
has
Yeah,
happy
absolutely.
juice.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's a fun idea.
Yeah. All right. So
What would you do? Can't do alcohol.
I can't do your idea.
Do you like my idea? I think my idea would work really well, actually.
I would do a stroller rental business.
It's a great
And I would
idea.
have way better strollers than Disneyland has for rent. So, and storage. Remember we talked about storage last time? So I do strollers and storage, so lockers and storage. But I would just obsess over having better strollers, competitive prices, easy access, and you would use your automations, right? You'd use text and an app to make sure your delivery for the strollers is on point. No lines. You don't want to go to wait in line while your kids are in line at Disneyland.
This could be one employee that just makes sure everything is still working correctly, and you return the strollers. He wipes them down. And
the
puts
returns, yes, but I think you would in the mornings you would have delivery employees.
them in. Ooh.
So they're right there. They're in uniforms, red shirts, so they're easy to see.
Yeah.
And all the strollers are brought to you while you're waiting in line at Disney, but before security. So you just have to share your location with me. You've already paid, and I've got my phone as a delivery employee, and I'm gonna go bring you your stroller that you paid for.
Okay. Another creative idea for Disney: rentable GPS tags.
Rentable GPS tags.
Yeah,
I
think
do
about
like
it.
that.
A day rent for GPS.
Because nobody comes like ready with their technology.
No, and I've got a 5-year-old kid. I want to make sure that he's safe.
I would do that at the stroller place. Man, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
If only it weren't $7 million to buy a rinky dink.
I don't think it is though, because
Anaheim.
$7 million for what? For the property.
Property.
Oh, they're talking about GPS tags.
No. Anyways, all right. Well,
let's get
this has
tag.
been good.
Yeah.
I'll see you next week. I think we got to land the ship. It's been an hour.
Oh yeah, it has been an hour. Okay, well, Kendall, always a pleasure.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Hey guys, if you liked today's episode, please like and subscribe. I know it's hard. You got to do both things, like it and subscribe. But we're YouTube, we're Spotify, we're Apple Podcasts, and ideadroppodcast.com.
If you have ideas, mailbag us. We want to hear your ideas.
Mailbag us.
Mailbag at ideadroppodcast.com. Send us an email with your ideas, and we'll say if they're good ones. And you can also do the hashtag. Hashtag is a great way to do it. I know there's a lot of steps, but trust me, it helps us keep on giving you guys our free ideas.
We're going to be here every week. See ya.